So I am coming up on a project that I want to get done. My partner and I have decided that we want to get the project done start to finish in one weekend instead of picking away at it slowly over time. Why are we choosing to do this? Firstly, I think from a prioritization perspective, we've decided to focus on other projects that might require more picking away at. This is one that really feels a little bit more contained, and we should be able to get it completed start to finish on our own. There's less variables or outside like external influences. There's no predefined like benchmarking or anything to do, so we're really able to fully define it ourselves and do it. So we're not going to be having to, there's not as many hurdles that we have to meet someone else's expectations. We get to set our project ourselves. So because of that, we've got 1 weekend to get it done. We're going to do it hackathon style. And so I'm going to share my process on what I'm considering, why, and how the weekend's going to go. Okay, so the considerations in my mind were essentially energy level and time were the big ones. Energy I kind of thought of as coming from food and sleep primarily, as well as just like mental fatigue. And from a time management perspective, it's organization, prep, and scope creep. So I really started to think about, if I did nothing but work on this one project from beginning to end, what kind of things are going to get in the way that are going to prevent me from succeeding at getting this done? So it was really logistics, distractions, things like having to cook or make food, getting hungry, getting low on energy, maybe not sleeping enough. Those were the kind of things that I was thinking about. So here were my general considerations. For food, we're going to have a planned time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, very much like a hackathon would have. They would serve you lunch, they might serve you breakfast and dinner, but they give you the food so that you can just do the work. So initially I was thinking that we either do food prep ahead of time. Don't have time for that. I'm currently in the middle of my master's, and so there's just not enough time to actually do all these things. So we are going to be either ordering in, or we'll go to the grocery store and grab some like pre-made, prepackaged food. It'll be a little bit more expensive, but in the overall, the fact that we'll be able to get a project in the weekend, I'm basically paying for my time back. Snacks is the other big one. What are we going to be doing throughout the day to sustain energy? So I'm going to be looking to have healthier snacks, especially towards the beginning of the day, really looking to avoid sugar crashes that would happen from too much junk food. But of course, having treats is important. So we will likely be having fruit, some vegetables for fiber, and some like chocolate and things like that, probably more towards the evening. For energy levels and fatigue, I think the big one is just really having planned breaks, and to have enough time to, what I said is take a walk outside. So really making sure that there's a mind-body connection, and that we're not just sitting at a desk all day. I think we'll go crazy. So a change of scenery, change of pace will, I think, be good, even if it's just for a short period of time. And I'll just jump to that last one, sleep. So really thinking about realistically, how is this going to look? Most likely we're going to end up staying late on Friday and Saturday. And so I'm not going to pretend like we're going to get up early the next day. Although we're trying to get everything done in a weekend. This isn't a true hackathon. If it doesn't get done, that's okay. And we do also have school on Monday. From what I remember of like startup weekends, it would be a great weekend, but then you'd pay for it all next week. And we still have school and need to be functional. So we're planning for late nights on Friday and Saturday. We're going to get started a little bit later in the day and still have breakfast and kind of a slower day. And then Sunday, we're going to have basically the afternoon to ourselves to catch up on admin and whatever other things that we need to do for ourselves. And then scope creep, just generally, I think, the intention for this project is I want to get through at 60% quality and prioritize the things that we skipped or didn't do, and then come back and finish those afterwards. That way, at least we got through and finished, and now we can really judge what has the highest priority. Some things we'll just leave and document. Other things we'll actually take on and fix. So that's the important piece that we're asking ourselves, is this 80-20? Is it value add? If not, skip it, don't do it, document and move on. just to make sure that we're kind of, I guess, aligned between Victor and myself, my partner and myself, I thought it was important to start with kind of the why and the what are we trying to get done. So project description, this is basically a synopsis of the project from my professor. We're looking to outline the foundations of our database technology, explain how our tool, Rastaman database, actually implements this, and then benchmark our database against a traditional relational database, MySQL. Just to be upfront, I don't know anything, or a lot, I guess I should say. I don't know as much about computer science as I'd like, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. So then I went with, what are our major goals? Like, if I had to just explain this to a friend, what would I say we're trying to do? We're trying to set up our Rastaman and our MySQL databases. We're going to be finding benchmark data that we can use that's pre-existing and write some queries. And we're going to run our benchmark, analyze our data, and then ultimately write a report and put some presentation slides together. So our deliverables are those things: the benchmark results, the written report, and the presentation slides. Why is this important to have? Ultimately, this is going to be our anchor to come back and say, is whatever we're doing helping us complete one of these 3 tasks? If not, drop it. It doesn't need to get done. So it just boils things down to their simple, most basic concepts: the goals, the deliverables, the description. This is what we need to do. I gave some thought to our major milestones. This is almost like a checklist of like, did we get things done? So again, we've got our benchmark, results, report, and presentation. Kind of lines up with our goals, maybe should have been more closely lined up with our goals, but it's just thinking ahead of what are things we're going to get done. I don't want to waste time during the weekend going through this planning. So this probably took about 45 minutes to kind of think this through and put it all together. And I have met once with my project partner beforehand to kind of discuss these things, and that was about a month ago. So I pulled up the notes from that meeting, and this was basically all there already. So, and then ground rules. How is this weekend going to look? So again, like I said, we're aiming for a 60% quality, and we will come back to improve things if and when we have time. We're going to check in every hour. How's the progress going? What are the pain points? And this gives us the opportunity to then call each other out for any work that we're doing that's unnecessary and say, do you really need to be doing that? Is there an easier or faster way? And if either of us are ever stuck or just feeling like we're hitting a wall, take a break, go for a walk, change of scenery, just like chill. As much as we're trying to get this done, this doesn't have to be suffering. It should still be a fun weekend. So then I basically put together a bit of a timeline. So we're gonna have breakfast together. We got 2 hours, day 1, chill start. I think the big part was just, again, logistics planning. What's going to be the distraction? I don't want to have to think about it. We need to go grocery shopping, get some food. Where are we ordering things from so that it just removes one piece of cognitive load that we don't have to think about it when we get there. We just move forward. Just the decision's been made. And then basically, we're starting the day by aligning. Day 1 is just align on everything that we talked about. Does this make sense? Our first sprint is going to be all the things we get done in those first 4 hours. Take a break for lunch. Check in on progress after lunch. Keep going for sprint 2. Then have some dinner together, and then potentially we'll see how we're feeling. Maybe we continue working, maybe we don't. We'll see how things are going. But either way, at the end of the day, debrief, and I think this is important. Ask ourselves what worked for today, what do we need to change for tomorrow, and come up with a bit of a plan so that we can hit the ground running as soon as day 2 starts. Day 2 looks pretty similar. Let's go to a different view. Day 2 is pretty similar. I think the only change here, no, there's basically no change, just the hours. It's a longer day. We've got the Friday off, so this is a full Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing. So we got 3 days for this, but not much change. And then day 3 is basically, hopefully by 4 p.m. we're done, and then we're just, celebrating and just like eating. If not, then we'll just, take a look at what's left and what do we need to do. I think for me, the big piece is by 4 p.m., wherever we're at, we stop, because again, we still have school tomorrow. On Monday, we still have to be functional. And I think it'll just be, yeah, it's unnecessary for us to continue. And then ultimately just a debrief. Would we do it like this again? I think this is just a big part of my thought process. For everything that or for a lot of things I do, I think back on how did that go? Did I enjoy it? Would I do it differently? What would I change? And that just helps me think for next time, how do I want to do it? So hopefully this helps. I think, yeah, in summary, we are planning for logistics ahead of time. We're making sure that we're primed to actually get going, removing any kind of distractions or roadblocks that we might encounter, getting on the same page with that. And, we've scheduled the time and kind of cleared our schedules for it. We'll see how things go. Whether it's a success or not, I don't know, but I think it'll be fun to try it out. So yeah, hopefully that helps and gives some inspiration for how you might want to do one of these.